New videos every day.
This is Athena Jezik, and today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to work with lymphatic work. I've gotten a lot of comments and a lot of emails about making it a little more instructional. So that's what we're going to do today, is make it a little more instructional for you. I do have to say that if there's any condition that you're not sure of about giving lymph work to, you should either send me an email or find somebody that's more qualified, because the lymphatic drainage does carry some contraindications with some conditions. And even though there might be need for the lymph to be drained with some of these conditions, you really have to know what you're doing, because you don't want to cause any harm at all to anybody. So for the relatively healthy person, or the person who's not suffering from any disease process, we're going to learn today a little more about draining the neck and face, and probably more as the time goes on. So to start with, again, we'll start with the neck. That's the place you always start with lymphatic work. Oh, and I just want to say here now too, if people are wondering about a school to go to, Bruno Chickley, he's the one that I would highly recommend to get in touch with his institute, and he would be able to teach you more about the work for more complicated conditions. So we start here, the clavicle, the bone, the clavicle is here, and lying just up above it and a little bit behind, we're going to find the main nodes that we want to open first. So you place your hands along there, and we're going to be pumping the fluid toward the midline. But we're going to be following a time where the neck chain goes along here and along the back, and then there's another chain that comes down. So there's a up and down, two chains that are there, and it comes around to the front. So we want to push all that fluid that direction, which will open up the avenue for the face to be drained. So we're just going to start here and do little tiny pushes, skin stretches. And that is really light. I'm going to show you on my arm. It's just really light. You just stretch the skin down, lift your hands up a little bit, and let it ride back. So it's a little push and up. And you're right underneath the skin, because that's where the fluid is right underneath the skin. So you just push and slide and lift. So that's the technique. So it might look deeper, but it's not. It's just right under the surface of the skin. And it will start the lymph moving. The lymphatic system is a vacuum, so when one part begins to move, the rest will move. When one part is stuck, the rest will be also stuck or sluggish. So we're going around the neck chain here. It's like a row of pearls around the neck. There's little nodes along the way. And then right up along the trapezius muscle, you'll feel a muscle that's a little bit lifted along here. That's where you want to travel with your hands to do the skin stretching. And back around. You call it, in Chickley school, it's called a rinse, to go back over it. And then we'll go up the neck. You want to use the flat part of your hands, very much of the pads of the fingers, the pads of the palms. You want to have a broad surface when you're stretching the skin. It's more effective that way. Now I'm up in what's called the water wheel. And that's right below the ear. It's a collection of nodes. Catches the draining from the face. And back down, and then go a little farther to the neck chain, to the back side of it, and go up the neck. Sometimes the person on the table will feel like there's little critters crawling under the skin, and what that is they're feeling actually the fluid moving. But it has kind of a tickly feeling sometimes. And then working the neck that way. Okay, then coming back up the neck, we're going to go under the chin, and that's right on the jawline. It's going to be the jaw is here, the jawbone is here. You're going to be right behind the jaw and right on the edge of it, like at the clavicle, only you'll be behind the jaw. And it's very gentle again, the skin stretching coming up the jaw. You can do these little skin stretches 3 to 5 times, or really as long as you want, but usually 3 to 5 times is enough to get things moving. And while you're doing this, notice if you feel any difference underneath, any difference in quality, the way the skin feels or the way that the fluids move. Usually it will feel much softer. And then you come back down the chin, following that line down, and down the neck chain. Start back up at the chin. And that's again just skin stretching downward because the face has a triangle. I guess I should show you this. The face drains, this part drains downward and over and down, and the rest of the face drains back this way, down into this area and down. So when we work around the mouth and the nose, we're going to be pushing straight downward and up under the lip. There's a little different action here under the lip, but just don't worry about that right now. And then up the nose, where you just do little pushes on the nose. This is very good to get congestion moving. I see probably most of my clients on lymphatic drainage of the face is children, usually very young children. And that helps them to be able to breathe. They always feel better when they leave. You can tell because they've got more energy. They come in sometimes kind of whiny and tired and not very happy, and they usually leave happy and feeling much better. Sometimes they need to come back in and sometimes they don't, so it's very efficient work. So we just did the draining of the face, this triangular place, and we're going to go then to the cheeks. And with this, again, it's the broad pads of the hand and just stretching the skin and then rinsing it, which is going back over it, back down. And then we're going to come up and do around the eyes. And that's a little skin stretching. You can see how the skin is stretching. Be very, very light on the eyes. And the eyebrow, same thing. And down to the water wheel, drain. And then we just have the forehead, where you just stretch across the forehead. And of course I'm going a little quicker through this, but just take your 3 little or 5 little moves to stretch, and you will notice your hands are anywhat sensitive. You will notice that there's a change underneath the skin. It's going to soften for you, and that means that the fluids are moving. So that's a very basic face drainage and neck drainage. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me and I'll help you answer them.
If you liked this video, we have hundreds of more alternative videos ranging from sexual health to psychology to mind control. So if you liked it, go ahead and click on me to enter the Psychetruth channel.